eventful week and a half.
Yeah, it has been. We've been in the trenches.
We've been
in the trenches, just locking arms.
Would you call it a rut?
I call it a rut. We really, we don't even know what happened.
I know.
To the YouTube channel.
It's so frustrating.
Nobody else does either.
Yeah.
They thought they were subscribed to something, and then it was gone, making us look like fakes or something.
Yeah, like we were scamming people out of their YouTube subscription.
And then you went into a digital fast.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you needed to take a break from creating the social stuff.
Well, and just all of it. I don't like for my brain, it feels, it's hard to explain. Like it feels like I'm compelled to go over there multiple times per day and check in.
Uh-huh.
Oh, did somebody comment? Did somebody DM me? Did somebody, like there's just a compulsion, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But let's back up real quick. First of all.
Yeah.
It was a week and a half ago. It was Sunday morning.
Yep.
And we had a kid who needed to stay home from church. I was going to stay home with him. My wife took the other 3 kids to church. I'm there. Like I was going to stream church from my laptop. And so I opened my laptop and I just typed in YouTube because our church streams on a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And if you've ever typed in anything that you've already been to the website, it like pre-fills out.
Enter.
Right. So I'd obviously been to our YouTube channel often. And so when I typed in YouTube, it just pre-filled like our subscription, our channel ID.
Yeah, the page.
So I just hit enter. And when I did that, it popped up this, what a 404 message is?
Yeah.
Like
page not found.
Yeah, page not found. Error, 404.
Didn't even bring up just YouTube.
No. And I was like, what? So I'm just a little bit disoriented and like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Internet went out.
Yeah, like, okay. And, tried it again, 404, not found. I was just like, what? And so then, you can kind of go over to your YouTube icon and click it and go to your channel. And it wasn't there. Like the only way I can describe it is our YouTube channel vanished.
It vanished.
It disappeared.
Can you even say hacked and deleted? I don't know.
I mean,
does this happen? And nobody even
I
has
don't know.
An email, doesn't have there's no way to say it was tracked or not tracked,
right.
Or somebody hacked in. It vanished.
Yeah.
And it was like the Bermuda Triangle of our YouTube channel.
It's just so weird. And so I started, immediately I went over, I got on to YouTube support or Google support, message
You texted
them.
me at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
We have a problem.
Yeah. And I thought about texting you earlier, but I thought, let me see if I can figure this out. Like, there's no reason to sound an alarm. If I could message somebody and they go, oh, here's what happened. Boop, it's back,
Yeah.
I thought, okay, let me try this first.
Throw the breaker.
Got on with YouTube support, and they said, the channel has been deleted. And so initially, I thought, well, are you telling me you guys deleted it? Are you saying,
we did? Yeah.
Because we did have, I thought it was curious, we had just come out with the Everyday Carry episode.
Right.
Where a firearm makes an appearance safely, but right. I was wondering, would YouTube just delete a channel? For that? I mean, I would think.
Are we getting censored because we have so many subscribers?
We're reaching dozens of people with this.
Dozens of people.
Dozens and dozens.
Right.
And so I specifically asked the person, wait a minute,
the Google delete this?
Did you guys delete the channel? And they said, no, it was deleted on your side. And so then I'm going, well,
We don't have.
I didn't delete the channel.
Yeah, like it's just us.
And I even double checked. And Matt, our video editor, is gonna see this. There was a moment where I thought, did Matt accidentally? He would never do that on purpose.
Sleepwalk or something.
Yeah, but like, did he do it? But then I even verified that the level of access he had, because you can add people into your you can give them access to do certain things.
Yeah, but they don't have like
they don't have admin,
the red
like
button.
They don't have the red button. They don't have he didn't have access to that. He would not have been able to do that.
Yeah.
He only has access to like upload, tag things, but he can't delete a channel. So Matt, when you see this, for a hot minute I thought maybe you did this, but I know that you didn't. But it was just so weird because there was never an email. There's no indication of a hack, like, oh, somebody's trying to gain access, or
right, you're getting a weird text or anything.
Nothing like that. But yet it's gone.
I don't get it. So you called me.
Yeah.
And then during the phone call, I was like, okay, well, can we just like set it back up, upload the videos? What does this mean?
Yeah.
And then for maybe an hour, I was just in the dumps.
I agree.
I was like,
I agree.
We're over here. We're literally just two dudes in the chaos of noise of podcasts and content. And we're just trying to put some stuff out there.
No, we're just having
that
fun.
We think's important.
We're having fun.
And then for whatever reason, it gets deleted, and it's really demoralizing.
Yeah.
Like totally demoralizing.
Even as small as the channel was,
tiny,
which it was. It's fun to watch things start from nothing and add growth. And we had
a rhythm.
Yeah, it was like a regular. Oh, every Thursday, putting out episodes. I felt it kind of ruined my Sunday, really.
Yeah, and do you remember though when we were talking about this, we were just starting with like audio. And then we were like, no, we need to like video it so we can add it to multiple platforms.
Yeah.
If we could because then you can find us anywhere.
Yeah.
You could watch it. You could listen. You could watch it at 2x speed.
Oh, yeah.
That's
fun. Then you're talking like this.
But you can see it the whole time. Yeah. So, then you handed social media to me.
Was there ever a moment, real quick?
Never in my life.
Going back to Sunday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Did you ever think, screw it, man. Let's just throw this thing in the dumpster fire of YouTubedom.
I thought if somebody's going to delete our channel at 185 subscribers, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is like a thing, if it happens again,
yeah,
like once we hit like 184,
I would maybe.
I think we got to ask bigger questions.
Yeah, if it happens again, I don't even want to say those words.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, one time, I'm not an IT guy, so our thing gets deleted. 2 times,
the Lord's trying to tell you something.
I'm just a volunteer. Just a volunteer here. Like, we're just trying to have fun. And somebody's ruining our fun.
Nobody's paying me to do this.
No.
Why do I keep... Yeah.
No.
I had the same thought.
I did have that thought. My bigger thought was like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. Huh. I tried to look at it as the whole thing. And yes, I think we put a lot of emphasis on like YouTube and video and it's fun. But, you do have Spotify, you've got Apple, you've got audio stuff that at this point, even where YouTube was, the audio side is bigger.
Yeah.
That I was like, okay, this is a pain.
Yeah.
I don't love having to do this.
Right.
But it is one part of, there are other parts that those things didn't disappear. Because at first, honestly, I was like, Lord, are you trying to tell me something? But I think, if we had woken up on Sunday and everything was gone,
that would have been God.
Yeah. Instagram, Apple, Spotify, everything was gone. I'd be like, dude.
Was that a dream?
Yeah.
Did we just have a 6-month dream?
Yeah. But
the video is the hardest part. It takes the most time.
Part.
Like anybody can record and post it to podcasts. There's no real editing that takes place.
Yeah.
But the video is it takes more time. You got 3 cameras. You got to merge them all. So that's why I was like, oh, really?
Yeah. That's one of the things about this that I don't love is the fact that with video, like there have been moments that something will happen and I'm like, dude, I've got time freedom. We could pop in here today, record something, talk about it. Literally, it could be up on the internet in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But with video, it's like you got to plan for that. You got 3 cameras. You got to send them to a guy, merges all the audio, video.
Yeah.
It takes a while. You got to stay about a week and a half out in advance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh.
They hit us really hard in the heart.
Yeah. But it is something, maybe we consider like audio only special editions from time to time. Like if something crazy in the world happens,
we sit down.
We're like, what?
We got to talk about this.
We talk about it right now, and it's up on the internet in 5 minutes.
Do it. Yeah.
I don't know. That could be fun.
I do like that.
And then, coupled with that, because that all happened on, golly, was it the end of January?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Sunday. End of January.
And then...
Well, the 1st of February.
Yeah. And then I was like, hey, dude, can you take social media for February? Because I don't want to...
I was like, heck yeah, I can.
You were really ambitious.
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm all about it.
Yep.
Easy.
And then about a week into it...
Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss, y'all. The first day that you trained me to put a reel together. When I say trained, we are not social media.
No.
Like I couldn't put that on my LinkedIn page. Like it's not a resume item.
No.
I have never been on social media, much less posted or created something. And there's a cover image, there's the clip, and there is the final image that you know, the outro.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, to put that together, the first time I did it, I started sweating. I was sweating because I couldn't find the right buttons. I didn't know. I was going into like Microsoft Word to try to create the cover image, but then match the right orange for the text.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I was so mad. And I think what really ate me up was there's like 17-year-olds that are doing this.
Yeah.
In
all the time.
3 seconds.
All the
just
time.
Bam, bam, boom. So I'm sitting there with a CapCut on my computer on a chair, and I'm just lost.
Yeah.
It's gotten better, but I don't know how people do it. It's the most consuming thing to run social platforms, and people do it. And I have a different view on it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do. Because I was the guy that was like, oh, really? You're going to make a living on blah, blah, blah. Oh, whatever. Well, it's a lot of work. It is a ton of work. It's a ton of time. It consumes your life if it's even like your personal life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is just, hey, take some clips and splice them together. But we'll be all right. We're going to be okay.
That is something.
It was a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, it was kind of a perfect storm, especially for you. Just because, well, I mean, like I'm having to upload everything again for a second time. So by the way, we did basically YouTube said you got to start it over. You have to start it over.
And the name was still there. It's
my gosh.
Right back up.
Well, we had to change the name slightly. We had to change it from Southern Gentleman Podcast to the YouTube URL. You couldn't claim it again. You had to go Southern Gentleman Pod.
No.
Yeah.
So the YouTube channel is now Pod?
It's called Southern. It's like youtube.com/Southern Gentleman Pod. Is the link.
Yeah.
You're just talking about the URL. The podcast is still called.
Yeah. Okay.
Southern Gentleman. Everything.
But the link used to be podcast.
Yeah. It used to be Southern Gentleman Podcast.
So it's just like over there in the.
I tried setting it up under the same name. It was like this name is not available.
It's expired for now.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal is with that. But so it's just a pain. It's a real pain to like re-upload everything because I think.
Do you think there's a lot of Southern Gentlemen in Russia? And there's just a guy out there that's just like, I got the domain now.
You know what? Here's the deal. Because we did the inauguration episode.
Yeah, we did.
Then you pulled out a pistol on a Deadgum episode. And then all of a sudden our YouTube is gone.
Oh, man. Because that's how conspiracies start.
Yeah.
So.
Conspiracies are always a conspiracy until they're proved true. Then they're just facts.
It's true.
Then it's just what happened.
That's right.
It has been a little bit of a pain the last week.
We have some good guests coming up.
Yep, we're working on that.
Good episodes today. So it's wintertime. It's February. So
it is, man, dude. It's cold out there.
Rough and tumble.
You get a lot of dreary days right now. Not a lot of warmth. Not a ton of sunshine.
16 years ago today.
Ooh.
I proposed to my wife.
Really?
Yep. Sure did. So I just
cute?
like to say, like, oh, best question I ever asked.
You guys doing anything tonight?
16 years.
Do you celebrate this day?
She's working.
Okay.
Usually we would.
Yeah.
But she's got some stuff going on. But it was, so we kind of avoid all of the Valentine's crowds and stuff.
Yeah.
It was strategic on my part.
Yeah.
But, this year's different. But we do, but it's a day. Like, we don't recognize, like, first date or...
Yeah.
We don't get too granular, but the proposal date is always like something I've always thought of.
That's funny. I remember the month, but I don't remember the date I proposed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we celebrate our first date.
Oh, you do? So your first date.
We do that.
Okay.
Yeah. We do that.
Yeah.
We had 30 years this year.
Last
year, 30 years.
It just makes it bigger and bigger. Like, oh man, 16. 30. What were you, like 14 years old?
17.
17?
Yeah, I was 17 when we had our first date.
Well, that's as big of a number as you can get. As the first date.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a fun one for us.
Yeah. So, anyways, had to throw that out there.
I love it. I love that.
It's a good day.
And then here's what I thought we'd talk about today, Winston.
Okay, Christopher.
Basic car maintenance.
I like it.
Basic car maintenance.
I cannot stand the dealership.
Yeah, and I have been either a dealership guy or a drive-in oil change, because I think today you start with an oil change. How do you change the oil in your car? This is something I have not done in 30 plus years. Mm-hmm. I was a teenager the last time I did this.
So this is do-it-yourself basic
DIY basic car maintenance. And I don't think you can get more basic than changing the oil.
Yeah.
Right? The oil is the lifeblood of the engine.
It is.
You got to have clean oil.
I would say the wiper blades might be the easiest maintenance.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the most basic.
Yeah.
But changing the oil is awesome. Like, that's impressive. That's cool.
I'll tell you.
Nobody does it anymore.
When we started just thinking about it, I was really intimidated by this. Now, you've done it more recently. When was the last time you changed your oil?
It would have been my Tacoma back in the day. So it's been 10 years.
Okay,
now.
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
For me, the thought of it was extremely intimidating. Like, I was like, oh, man, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
And I will say, I'm going to skip ahead and just kind of spoiler alert. It was so easy. It was
really.
And
to find it up there, like,
it was,
because manufacturing now is so crazy.
And maybe I did make a note here. Like, I'm sure there are differences car to car. So maybe some things are a little bit more difficult to locate than on other models. So I'm not.
Okay.
But as for me and my house, and the one that I started with.
As for me and my oil.
Which I'm going to tell you, dude, I'm going to change the oil. We have 4 cars because we have 2 teenage drivers and then my wife and I.
Yeah.
And I'm going to change the oil on all of our cars from now on.
I'm so excited about
this. Because it was so incredibly easy.
Yeah.
It saved me time. It saved me money. And at the end of all of it, I loved it.
You enjoyed it.
I loved it. It was so fulfilling to go, I did that. I did that. I figured that out. I executed it.
Yeah.
And I didn't maybe do it exactly the way I would do it moving forward on the first time, but I learned some things that I'm going to share with you.
Okay. This is
Tips,
so fun.
Tools, tricks that I was like, I will be able to do this even faster.
I'm going to have questions about it too as we go along. But that's a great why. It's always there's never a great time to be like, I got to go get my oil change. Anything you need for the car. Cars are always a nemesis. They're never like seen positively. They go down in value. They cost you money.
I hate them.
And they need you to go take care of them.
Yeah. And historically, I would say for the first, I don't know, maybe the last 15, 20 years, let me back up. Of the 30 years that I've not changed my own oil, the first 15, 20 years of that, it was a dealership thing.
Okay.
It's making an appointment, driving up, getting out, sitting, or having somebody pick me up, waiting, I don't know, 2 hours.
Not even like a mom and pop store.
No.
Like the dealership.
No. I'd go to the dealer.
Yeah,
if it's a Toyota or Ford, wherever, I'd go to the Ford dealer, go to the Toyota dealer. Yep. The last maybe 5 to 10 years, I've been more of the drive-in places. The Valvolines, something like that.
Tire and Auto Center.
Yep, Tire and Auto Center, Oil Change Center. But even those, you drive up. Typically, there's a line. They may have 2 or 3 bays.
Yeah.
I'm in line. I gotta wait. Then you drive in there. Yeah. You're sitting there with your window down. You're just kind of fidgeting on your phone. I think it's hard to find ways to make that time productive. You're just kind of just hanging out in your car waiting.
Yeah.
And we drive older cars, higher mileage cars. Yeah. That expense has gone because they always try to upsell you. Hey, let's do the synthetic high mileage.
Everything.
I would say I'm leaving there and it's $150.
Yeah,
is what I'm paying to get the oil change.
It's convenience
on any
too.
Of these cars.
If you're not even getting out.
Yeah, and I did this one for $70, $68
out of pocket,
and it took me less than 10 minutes.
Now, of that 68, are those things you bought for the first time?
No, this is just the filter and the oil.
The stuff you would have to buy.
The stuff you would have to buy. Now, there is some gear that I either bought ahead of time or, looking back on it, I went, no, I need these things. And so I bought some additional things for the next time.
Yeah. Okay.
That I think will make it easier, cleaner, faster. Because I did learn.
Tell me what you bought again. You said the air or the oil filter.
The oil. I paid $8 for the oil filter, and I paid $60 for 10 quarts of full synthetic high mileage oil.
So it was full synthetic.
Yep.
Okay.
I went full synthetic.
That's more expensive than normal.
Expensive, but I paid $68 for the materials that I'm going to put in that car or on that car.
What'd you pay yourself?
I mean, I had a great cocktail that night, maybe 2.
Yes.
Because
maybe a thank you.
I didn't leave my home.
It's enjoyable.
I didn't drive anywhere. I didn't wait in line. I didn't get on a phone or make an appointment. And I saved time. I saved money, and I genuinely enjoyed it. Yeah. It was fast and easy and enjoyable.
And you're taking care of something that you own.
Yeah. There's something to.
We delegate so much now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if anybody does anything. They might rake their leaves, but like we delegate so much stuff, and we're in a microwave society. We're in an Amazon Prime society. Mm-hmm. And it feels really good to like break some of that and be like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and fix that.
It's funny you brought up Amazon Prime because we now have an Amazon storefront.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
An Amazon storefront. And you can create like ideas and incorporate products into those ideas that live on your storefront. Okay. And so we will put a link in the description to this video. Yeah. That you can click on it and go over, and you will see everything that I either own already or I bought post for the next one to make it easier. Like the things I feel like you probably need these items if you're going to do this yourself. Not a ton of money. And so I've done all the research for you.
That's great.
To figure out what are the things I think you probably need. And you may see some of these and be like, I don't need that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But we'll
put
need
a filter and the oil.
Yeah, you need the filter and the oil. You need somebody to collect the old oil.
To collect it. Mm-hmm.
I would not recommend the way I did it this time, which is why we have a little trusty thing here that I'll show you here in a minute.
Just put it in like a baby pool.
Yeah, but no, we took like I'll just walk you through it.
Let's go.
Should I just walk you through it?
Let's go.
First of all, here's what I would say.
What's the car?
A 2011 Ford Expedition EL, the extra
beast.
long.
What a beast.
You know, a whatever 5-point whatever V8.
Yeah, just massive.
It's a kid hauler.
Yep.
It's a
bus.
dog hauler.
Yeah.
It is. We've owned it since 2013, so we've owned it for 12 years.
It's great.
It's got 210,000 miles on it.
Goodness.
Runs like a champ.
Good for them. Good for Ford.
And we've maintained it. You know, for a long time, it was going to the dealer.
Yep.
But we've maintained it. We recently put shocks and struts on it, new brakes. You know, you got to keep good tires on it.
Yeah. Is it a boy or a girl?
You know, that's funny that
Probably
you say
a she.
that. Probably.
I feel like it's a she. She's been good to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she's been a good one.
She's been a good one.
And we are not car people. And when I say that,
it's a utility.
Yeah, my wife is definitely not a car person. So I will
just
occasionally
want it to work. It just has to work.
Yeah, this car it's beat up. I mean, it runs, but dude, it's got scratches. I mean, it's got the running boards have chew marks from when our first puppies 12 years ago chewed on the side of the running boards.
Yeah.
She does not care about cars. She's like, will it get me where I need to go?
And does the heat work?
And does the heat work? Does the AC work?
Yeah.
That's about all she cares about. Because there have been moments where I'm like, honey, let's move on from this. She's like,
have better running boards.
She's like, I'm gonna drive this thing till it dies.
Yeah.
Till it dies.
Heard it. Love it.
So
I love that.
That's the kind of car we're dealing with. Here's the first thing that I learned. I didn't know what type of oil to put in this car. Mm-hmm. So obviously we have the internet. Google is super friendly for this kind of thing. But I learned all you got to do is pop the hood, and on the oil cap, it will tell you your oil.
Okay.
So I think for the vast majority of cars that we're talking about, pop the hood, look at the oil cap. It'll tell you exactly what type of oil.
Okay.
Because I didn't understand, and I still really don't, what all the numbers mean.
Yeah.
5W20. 10W30. I don't know what those mean. Ours is a 5W20.
Okay.
But I have no clue what those numbers mean. I do think it's important to put the right oil in the car.
Very much so.
Right? I think that's important.
Yeah, it's very important because it's a climate thing. It's also, but mostly it's a manufacturer's thing. The way the engine's built, those numbers are just basically telling you the thickness of the oil at certain temperatures. So the first number, 5W, means winter. So
really?
Yep. So it's the cold number. The first number is the cold number. So it's going to perform better the lower that number is at cold start when you start it.
Okay.
And then the second number, the 20 or the 30, that's the thickness of the oil at the highest temperatures that the engine's going to be at.
All right.
So the higher the number, the better it's going to perform at high temperatures.
I had no idea.
And I think it's like 212 degrees. I mean, these engines run like super hot.
Yeah.
You know, when you just see the low and the L and the H and the engine, if it's right in the middle, I think that's like around 212 degrees.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is crazy.
That's pretty hot.
But again, it's not going to matter to me. I'm going to look at the lid and go buy the same thing. I'm not going to think, okay, that means it's getting a good viscosity and it's cold outside. It's just going to work. But I think too, if you do go synthetic like you have, I would not go back. I don't think you can go back to regular oil.
Oh, okay.
Once you've gone synthetic route, they're like, you can't go back.
Kind of like testosterone shots. Once you start taking them, you got to keep doing it.
You can't. You're not going to want to get off that stuff.
By the way.
But that's what I hear.
All right.
Can I ask this?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you know how much to put in? Or how much to buy?
So I did YouTube, Google.
So then you go and say, like, how much does a 2011 Ford Expedition take?
Once I figured out what type of oil I needed, and I just went to our local auto parts store, shout out O'Reilly Auto Parts, and bought the O'Reilly brand full synthetic high mileage, and I bought the oil filter that fits my vehicle. So I spent $68 plus tax out the door.
Okay.
And then I turned to YouTube and I just literally typed in how to change the oil on a 2011 Ford Expedition EL.
Yep.
And it popped up a video. It was a 5-minute video. I sat at my kitchen table. I watched it. I made a few notes in my phone just to like, okay, I need to go find this tool. I need to go do that.
It's like a recipe.
Yeah, I got prepared. Like, okay, let me get my things together.
My stuff.
I was a little bit nervous about it. I was very intimidated. Once I watched the video, I was like less intimidated. I was like, I think this is going to be pretty easy.
Yeah. It came back, dude.
Yeah. And then it was scheduling, making sure Kimberly got home. Now, one of the things I learned that I will share with people, I would not attempt this when the car is fresh off of running for a period of time.
Okay.
Because that oil's hot.
Uh-huh.
It's hot. And so I experienced it when I was draining the oil pan.
Okay.
That oil that came out was pretty hot. Now, it's not like it didn't
like
burn me or injure me, but it was uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think moving forward, what I'll do is be like, the car needs to sit for a while, cool off. But then I think you want to start it and maybe let it run for a minute or two just to kind of
thin it out.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But I would not run it if like she'd been out running errands for an hour or two. Come home, she'd been driving it for 30 minutes.
That's hot.
The engine's hot. The oil's hot. I wouldn't do that. I would do that differently.
Okay.
But it was super easy, dude. I mean, here's the other thing. I bought ramps. In advance. They were,
because you can get up under an Expedition, but if you got a sedan,
you're not
gonna be able to do that.
Even with the Expedition, I liked raising that front end up, because the ramps are probably 12 inches tall.
Oh, you did use
I did use the ramp. I bought the ramps ahead of time.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I bought the ramps ahead of time.
That's nice.
All of this, and I love small business, and
and this is not a one-time thing.
It's not a one-time thing, but I went to Amazon for everything, dude.
Yeah, I know.
It was just
You're going to break
easy.
even after a couple of changes.
Yeah.
Oil changes.
I bought these Flow Tool Rhino ramps. They're not, you can go buy steel ramps, or they have a lot of these like
polymer.
Polymer composite materials. I went with those just because they're lighter. They stack real easy. And they were rated for like 8,000 pounds. And dude, these things showed up from Amazon, and they're made so well. Like they're incredible. And they cost me $60.
Yeah, worth it.
And like they're just gonna sit in the shed.
It's got to make it easier.
Yeah. But I would recommend ramps. So I drove the car up on ramps. The second thing I did is I took the oil cap off. This might sound really easy or simple. People might go, well, yeah, take the oil cap off. But I did run into people online who did not take the oil cap off before they drained the plug. When you remove the oil cap before you drain the plug, it creates more airflow.
Oh, okay.
So the oil pan will drain quicker.
Got it. It's like holding a straw.
Yeah. Some people would say, well, I wouldn't take the oil cap off until I put the new oil in.
Yeah.
No, you want to take the oil cap off to create that airflow. But I would leave it, this is important, I would leave it kind of just laying on top. So you don't get dust or a bug or something fly down, in there.
Yep.
So it kind of leaves covered, but you get some airflow so the oil pan will drain quicker. Then I climbed under the car. This is where I get really technical. I did find out all of the drain plugs for cars vary different sizes.
Uh-huh.
So some might be 14 millimeter, some 16. Ours was a 16 millimeter.
Uh-huh.
So you get your 16 millimeter socket, climb underneath there, make sure your collection, whatever you're collecting the oil in, is placed.
It's not your face.
Right. It's not your face. It's not the driveway. It's not whatever. Now this is where I think I made a mistake, because I did not invest in a collection pan in advance. I did that after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
What we did do was we took an old plastic bin that we knew would hold the proper amount, and I put a garbage bag liner in it.
That's pretty smart.
So I lined it with the garbage bag.
Yep.
And then when we were done, we just sealed that thing up, knotted it up, and then my son was able to take it to his boss's house, who has an oil collection thing, so he could just drain it. Yeah, recycling thing.
Otherwise, I think you can just take it to an oil place.
You can take it to
and just drop it off.
There are, in our county, we have like some oil recycling centers that you can take it to.
Okay, cool.
So, I mean, what I did do is I bought this thing because I'll use this thing moving forward.
Yeah.
Which is like a low profile collection pan.
Okay.
It's got these little like screw in, seal things. So you pop that out. let it drain in there.
Okay.
And then when you get it all in here, it's got this handle. You just carry it. You throw that back in your truck, whatever. Take it to your collection place.
And then
take that off, pour it out. Just carry it like that. But it's got a little spot here to hold the filter. That was another problem I had.
The filter, you're going to do the filter in the bottom too.
Well, so the thing is, like, once I drained it, and so all the oil is out and in that little receptacle that I had laying there, then I want to go up and remove the old oil filter. So I'm up
Which
over
is
the
hood
hood
side. Okay.
Yep, hood side. Now, you could probably get to it underneath on some cars. Ours, I was able to get to it coming through the hood.
Okay.
When you take that off, it's going to have oil in it too.
Yeah.
And so you want to drain that. Well, now I've just got this bucket with a trash bag liner. I just kind of had to hold it over and let it drain out. With this, you can just set it right there. It's at an angle.
Oh, got it.
And it will drain that oil filter down here. And then when it's empty, you just wrap it up, throw it away.
You're done.
So I like that about this too. This, by the way, is made in the USA.
Always.
By a company called Chapin. It's a low-profile 12-quart drain pan. How much do you think this costs?
Gosh, $21.99.
$29.99.
$29.99.
$30. But I think it's really well made. This is going to make it easier for me in the future.
They've thought of everything, man. That looks so usable.
It's so usable. And, like, I'll just be able to carry that to my recycling facility, pour it out. Now, I will say that's one little added thing. If you're not doing it yourself, you don't have to go recycle the oil.
Yeah. But it's quicker than sitting at Pennzoil.
That's what
and waiting on.
I'm betting on I'm still going to save quite a bit of time doing it this way.
Yep.
All right, so now I've gotten all the old oil drained out. Okay. So it's done. It's collected. I got my old filter off.
Yeah.
And I've let it drain out. I do think this is important.
Okay.
The place where you're going to put the new filter on, take a rag and just kind of clean that area. Wipe it down.
Like is it threaded?
Yeah, it's a threaded
okay. Just because there's particles in there? Or you just want it to be dry?
I think you want it to be dry. You want it to be free of all the old oil. So just wipe it down.
Okay.
Make it look nice and clean. Then when you take your new filter, and I remember doing this when I was a kid, but I had to relearn it. You want to put some new oil, a little bit of new oil in that filter.
Oh, okay.
And you want to take a little bit of that new oil and rub it around the rubber gasket.
Oh, okay.
Just kind of, with your finger, just kind of spread it around.
Yep.
And then you're just going to screw that new one on. And I just did it by hand.
Yeah.
Just as tight as I could get it by hand.
That's all you need?
That's all you need.
Okay.
Just get it real tight by hand. Now, if you're like a person who's not as strong, maybe you don't have good grip strength.
Yeah.
You may want to take there is a tool that we have that I used to get it off.
Filter wrench.
Yeah, filter wrench or filter, I don't remember what they call it, filter wrench. You may want to take that and tighten it, but I can get it really tight just with my hand.
Yeah.
And use a towel so you got good grip on there.
Right.
Once I had that on, now we're just going to add the drain plug back in.
Okay.
So I'm back under the car. I wipe that off too.
Yeah, and because that's a screw, right?
Yep, it's like a bolt, that
with a washer or
it's got a washer
maybe a rubber
on the end of it.
Okay.
Yep. And then I put it back in, made sure it's real tight, wiped everything down because I want to be able to see if I got a leak too.
Yeah.
So I wipe everything down, make sure it's real clean, put the drain plug back in.
There are a lot of times that I have had my oil changed, and the next couple of days, I'll have some spots in my garage.
And it wasn't tight enough, you think?
I just think there was residue that heated up again while I was driving, or they didn't clean it off a lot.
Yeah.
And so it was just excess that was still just kind of like running off of everything.
Yeah, I have a little bit of that because I did notice when I took the old filter off, right when you take it off, some of it's going to drip out.
Yeah.
And it can drip down onto other little parts of the car.
And it's just going to get
and
down
maybe
to
works its way down.
I think that's what was happening because it stops eventually, but it's a little alarming at first. But
got the new filter on, replace the drain plug.
Okay.
Now we're just going to add the new oil.
How? A funnel?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Have to use a funnel.
And then how do you know when it's full? Like,
okay, great question. So I did have to Google how many quarts go in my car.
Yes.
It was 7 quarts for my car.
Okay, so you can find that.
Yeah, you can find that really easily. I don't know if that's like standard for every car. I would say bigger engine sizes, maybe a four cylinder or a V6 might use less, I think. Yeah. That makes sense to me. But ours took 7 quarts of oil. So I had 2 5-quart containers that I had purchased. So I had a total of 10. Put my funnel in, empty 1 whole 5-quart container in, made sure that's nice and empty, took it out. Then, on the side of the bucket is like a clear part that shows you the different measurement, 1 quart, 2, 3, 4, all the way down. So I just emptied and I just pay attention like, okay, I'm down to the, okay.
I got it.
Okay, I got a little bit more. Okay. All right, great. I put 2 quarts of the second bottle or the second container in there, had my 7 quarts in, replaced the cap, start the engine, made sure my oil pressure needle was like, okay, I'll let it run for 30 seconds. Make sure it comes up. It's stable. Okay, that all looks good. Yeah. Turn the engine off. Check your dipstick.
Yeah.
And it feels so simple to like say this. You go, well, but you do need to check your dipstick. You got to take that thing out, wipe it, make sure it's clean, put it back in, let it sit for a minute, all the way down. You want to push it all the way down. Pull it back out. And then on the end of each dipstick is going to be a little gauge that you're going to see, like a full mark, a low mark. You want it in between there. It needs to kind of line up in between there. So you've got a little bit of wiggle room, but you don't want too much oil. I've learned that's a problem. You can over oil the car. Yeah. And you don't want too little. Yeah. You want it right in the middle there. And so we checked the dipstick. It's right in the middle. Yeah. And it was like, great. Back the car off the ramps.
All right.
I'm done. Dude, it was so easy.
Yeah, it does sound easy.
It made me think, like, why have I driven 20 minutes each way, spent probably an hour on the quickest times, because normally there's a car in front to get it done.
Yeah, it's always busy.
And paid $150, $160
right
to have this done.
Yeah. You could do it at home.
I did it in my driveway.
And a lot of this stuff will come to your door.
Oh.
So
you could order the oil. You could order the filter. You could have it all show up on your doorstep. Yeah. And when you've got...
So it is a time saver and a money saver.
When you have 15 minutes, you can go change your own oil. And the reason I kind of started thinking about this, my daughter, she'll turn 20 this year, but she has expressed an interest in doing some of these things. She's like, I need to learn. I want to learn how to change my oil. Yeah. Yeah. I want to learn how to change a tire. I feel a little bit terrible that I've not taught my daughter how to change a tire yet.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a if you're on the side of the road, can you do it? It's a life skill that you can't delegate that. No. Like, somebody's got to help you when that happens. If it happens.
I'm making sure I walk through all my steps. But just incredibly easy. I was blown away at how not difficult, not intimidating this process actually was. And I'm sure there are dudes out there who are like, are you freaking kidding me, man?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You were intimidated?
Let me give you 10 points and a Bucky Beaver badge for changing your oil.
I'll take it.
But for me, I go to bed, and you know what I'm thinking about? Today was a productive day. I changed the oil in the car.
Yeah.
I did something
There
today.
was something, I walked in. Dignifying. My wife was laying in the bedroom reading. I walked in. I was like, I just changed the oil in your car. I'm about to make you pregnant. There was like this. Yeah. There was this feeling of like, I can do anything.
Yeah.
I just changed the oil.
Do you see this man standing in front of you?
Oh man. Now a few things that I learned doing this. Yeah. That I would recommend if somebody's never done this before and they want to. Okay, here are some things I would say you need to think about. Number one, wear clothes that you don't mind getting dirty.
Yeah.
That might sound so basic.
Yeah.
But I went out there. Now, I went out there in a pair of beat-up jeans. But I had on like a T-shirt that I would like to keep fairly decent, unstained.
Yeah. It's just going to
done.
get...
It's done. That T-shirt's done. Now, you can wash these things. You can wash your clothes. You can get stains out. I think you can use like a stain remover if you need to. But I was just like, that T-shirt, I'll wash it, but that'll be my oil changing T-shirt. Because you're going to get some splatter, something on you.
Yeah, no, it gets everywhere.
I also did not use gloves.
Okay.
Now, I noticed in the video that I watched, the lady was wearing these black, like, disposable gloves. And I was like, I don't need gloves. I'm going to be fine. I got oil all over me.
Oh, yeah.
All over me. I mean, it was because when you're taking out that drain plug, there's going to be a moment where you're releasing it, you're pulling it down, and oil's going to start to come in. You're going to get oil on your hands.
Yep.
When you're taking the filter, the old filter out, you're going to release it from the housing, and there's going to be oil that drips there. You're going to get oil on your hands.
Yeah.
So I did invest in these gloves. Heavy duty nitrile examination gloves. Now, examination gloves, you're like, what's all that about?
What kind of oil change are we doing here?
But I did, you technically you could use latex gloves.
Yeah.
I think people have some latex allergies. I don't personally love the way latex gloves feel on my hands.
Right. They're kind of powdery and weird.
Yeah, these nitrile gloves, I just kind of looked it up. They are oil resistant, chemical resistant.
Okay.
If you have a latex allergy, you're fine wearing these.
Okay. So more of a chemist's glove.
Yeah, I went with
than
these.
A doctor.
There are 100 gloves in this box, so 50 pair.
Good night.
I paid $13.
That's crazy.
So I got gloves.
That's a lot of gloves.
Yeah, so I'm going to be able to cover the next 50 oil changes that I do on my family's cars or whoever's doing them at the house.
Yep.
We have gloves.
Okay.
This is also...
This is exciting for me.
This is exciting,
bro. I'm a geek.
This is exciting for me.
Yeah.
Now, I still need to update
like it's
this.
a way to keep it. It's like a log.
Yes.
For yourself.
They're always up there, whether you got to change it to the dealer or Valvoline or wherever. They always add that little updated, like, okay, your
thank
next
you for
one,
your business.
Yep, thank you. Here's your mileage or your, the approximate date of your next oil change.
Yeah.
And I was like, dadgummit, I can't. There's no way for me to record that and keep track of this.
Oh, but there is.
And then I just thought, there have to be these.
Yes.
And I went to Amazon again, and these were...
Next service
there
due.
are 60 of these labels in here that I could just take a Sharpie.
Yep.
And write the date, the mileage, even the grade of my oil.
Ah, look at that. Just as a reminder.
$7 for 60 of these.
That's genius.
That I was like... I have opened my own oil change shop.
Yeah.
You need your oil change? Come on over.
I know. I do. You're going to have to take that. And I'm going to get one of your stickers.
I'm going to give it to you.
Thank you so much for being here. Your next service is in, 3 months or whatever.
So, I mean, here are kind of the tools that I would really recommend. That either I did use them or I went, oh.
You really need.
I would really prefer to have this.
Okay.
I would definitely recommend the ramps.
Okay.
They just made it so much easier. Even if you do have a bigger car, it's just a little bit taller.
Yeah.
Having more room, I think, is better than not having enough room. And
let me just say, it's dangerous. So, like, disclaimer.
Under ramps?
Well, you're putting your cars up on ramps.
Yeah, I guess
just
so.
Read all the labels.
Yeah, dude. And I would make sure your ramps are made to hold the weight that your car is.
Yes.
So I think our car is like 4,500 pounds, 5,000 pounds. These are rated for like 8,000 pounds.
Just use your brain.
I did not feel nervous at all underneath there. But I bought those Rhino ramps for $60. I would definitely. I didn't use this one the first time. I told you how I collected it.
That's a must.
But this is for $30, made in the USA. I was like, man, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Don't do anything environmentally weird. Like, be responsible with it.
One thing that I got, I didn't bring it today. The funnel that I used the first time around, I had to like stand there and hold the hold the
Both
oil,
of them.
and like just kind of leaning over and holding it until it drains all the way out. I did buy a flow tool super quick funnel. It has like an extra wide thing, so you can actually just tilt.
It's not going to tip over.
You could tilt that oil container over and let it sit in the funnel. Walk away. Let it drain out.
That's impressive that it can hold all that.
$10 for that thing. Okay. You might need a pair of the adjustable pliers for the oil, for the wrench, for the filter. You might need a filter.
Yeah. That filter wrench is really handy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the manufacturer can put that on there, or the last guy that did it.
Yep.
He can really wrench it down on it. But that's helpful.
Yeah. And
from what I remember 10 years ago.
I mean, we already owned a pair, so my son had a pair. I used his, but there was a great one on Amazon for $12. You're just like, none of this stuff is crazy expensive.
Yeah.
The gloves were $13 for 50 pair, and the labels were $7.
Yeah.
So all in, I mean,
you started your shop.
Yeah, that's $125.
You can start your oil shop.
I have all the materials that I need.
Yeah.
I've got the funnel, the receptacle, the gloves, the labels, the wrench, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
I would spend that in one trip.
Yeah.
To having it done somewhere else.
I mean, if you think about it that way, I spent $185.
Mm-hmm.
All in, oil, filter, and all the tools.
So you do 2 cars and you're
2 cars and you're back to normal. Yeah. I was blown away. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was, when I say easy,
yeah,
I'm not good at.
No, I'm the guy that's like, I think I'm going to try that, but then I'm like, it always goes bad.
Yeah.
My DIYs are like always go bad. End up calling somebody. Can't figure it out.
I've attempted DIY. I tried to make a mailbox post.
Yeah.
Our very first house, when Kimberly and I got married.
And attach a mailbox to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I tried to make the post out of 4x4s. And this was, this has been 24 years ago. I didn't know at the time that you could just buy a pre-made post at Home Depot. I had no idea. Had no clue.
You bought a post.
I went and bought 4x4s. I bought a saw. I bought everything needed to build that post.
Yeah.
Dude, it was the jank. It took me hours.
Right.
And my wife was out of town at the time. This is pre-kids.
Yeah.
I had a buddy come over. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna finish this.
Yeah.
It was all laid out everywhere. I didn't know where to cut.
Those are my stories. Those are my stories.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Not enough YouTube videos in the world can help you with that.
My DIY has historically been horrible.
Yeah.
This was like
I love when that happens.
Piece of cake.
I love when that happens.
Yeah.
And changing the oil.
I will get excited about changing the oil in our cars from now on.
Uh-huh.
I'll be looking forward to it. Like,
Who's next?
Yeah.
Let me look.
I've already thought about it. I looked at my car on the way in. I was like, I'm less than 1,000 miles. Could I just go ahead and do that early? Would that be okay?
Couple more gas changes.
Yeah.
Of course it would be.
You think it's okay to do it early?
Yeah, because your sticker's going to just be the same mileage. Just bump it out another 5,000
but I'm saying I got another 1,000 miles that I'm changing it early for no reason.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm wasting.
Yeah.
Just because I want to do it.
Oh, God, it sounds fun.
You
got 4 cars to think of. That's a lot. So you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You're going to get to scratch the itch a lot.
I thought it was a blast. And I think if I can do this, anyone can do this.
Right.
Now, you may not want to do it.
Yeah.
We got a friend here I share an office with.
Okay.
And he thought I was an absolute moron for changing my own oil.
Yeah. It just there's no offset for him.
I came in Monday like, dude, I changed my oil this week. Why on earth would you do that?
Yeah. Okay, there's the oil change thing. So this is a process. You kind of got to learn it. You got to Google your car to see how much it takes. But so if you say, I'm just going to keep going to the dealership, or I've got a quirky car, or whatever it is, if you do that, I'm okay with that. But
it's up to you.
But then here's what they're going to do. They're going to come to you and say, you need this done, this done, this done, this done. And most of that's going to be stuff that you can do on your own.
Air filter.
Wiper blades, air filter, cabin filter. The top 3. And they're going to charge you crazy money to open your hood, pop open the top of where the air filter goes, slide it out, and slide a new one in, and then put the clips back on.
Yeah. Yeah.
For $150.
Is it that much, really?
Yes. And the cabin ones are like just as bad. They charge you so much money for the cabin air filter. They push it real hard. And I don't know if the cabin air filters is as important, but they'll tell you that it makes your car smell better, helps your AC run cleaner and all that. It's like changing the filters in your house, I would guess. Yeah. So it doesn't have to work as hard. Mm-hmm. And it does get dirty. Like it's got gray. It kind of grays out. Mm-hmm. But anyways, do a little research on your make and model for air filters and then look up when you should do that and how often. Because you can I just Amazon mine. And I love doing it because you open the hood, you remove a couple of clips. It's always very easy. Yeah. The air filter is like the easiest thing to get to. You just have to know kind of where to look. But you slide the thing out, slide it back in. It's like changing your filters in your house, and you just toss the thing, and you feel like a man. Yeah. And it was like $30. Yeah. And you just tell the guy at the dealership, I'm good, man. Yeah. I'm just going to Amazon it.
I handled that.
Like, oh, you want to just undo the clips for me? I think I can handle that. Thank you. So I would tell, the friend that's like, you're crazy for doing the oil. I would say you're crazy if you're not doing your own wiper blades, your own air filters, your own cabin filters.
Yeah. The oil might be that next step, but there are a couple of these things
It's like, okay, when you do the oil, then you're getting into mechanical stuff. Just a little bit. Yeah. You have a tool. Yeah. You don't need a tool for the others.
No.
But that's why, and I like to save the money on that. So the DIY with savings is like, that's my bliss. That's what I like. Dadgummit.
I loved it. I'm excited about the next one.
I'm inspired by it because I haven't done it in a long time, and now I'm thinking that would be fun. But there's something about an older car that, like, I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I don't know why. Like my truck has, I don't know, 25,000 miles on it.
Yeah. But why wouldn't you?
I don't know. They're still hitting me up for recalls. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to go in there and get this free. Dude, the Tundra right now has a gas tank recall. They're saying it's made of plastic, and if there's a hole in the plastic and there's a spark, then there's a fire risk.
You don't want that.
And I'm like, did y'all think about that? I mean, you're very smart people. And
make good cars,
has there been like a truck that has blown up because you had a plastic gas tank?
I think they're all plastic now.
I do too. I don't get it. But they're going to give me a new gas tank.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks. I set up my appointment. I said, by the way, my maintenance light is on, so can you just go ahead and do the whole thing?
Oh man,
so that's where I'm at in my life.
They got you, bro.
Well, I'm getting a free gas tank.
Yeah, but that extra maintenance.
How are they gonna? What are they gonna do? Empty the gas and then put it back in? Like, how do they do that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
But
do you need to run it down?
But that's why my Tacoma. It was just my old Tacoma, and I loved it. Yeah. And I got to know it really well over the years to the point where the intimacy grew into changing the oil. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to change the oil. But when you first buy it, you're under warranty. You're just going to be like, whatever.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of an age thing for me.
Yeah. I feel it.
I am a car guy, though.
I was the same way.
So I do get attached. I'm a drive it forever guy. Yeah. I get attached to mine.
Like when we bought that car, it was less than 2 years old. So I mean, it was still, it was a newer car.
Yeah,
and I can think back. I was like, no, we got to take it to the dealer. We got. That's what we got to do.
Got to take care of it.
Yeah,
right.
And I don't know.
But why don't we think we can do it?
I think today.
Can we not mow our own yards? Can we not mulch?
If I were to buy a brand new car today, I think I would instantly start changing my own oil.
I love your enthusiasm.
I'm telling you, dude.
That's perfect.
I'm all about it now. Anybody out there needs an oil change, hit me up. Come by the house. I'll be out there. My shop rags.
Yeah.
I mean.
Now we have a Honda minivan. I might start on that one. Minivan.
Do it.
Minivan.
I thought it was a blast.
That's good.
I'm all about the oil change now. So I was YouTubing videos this morning about my car, which is even quite a bit older than hers.
Yeah.
It's an old Toyota. And I was like, and there are some little nuances to this one that make it different than the Ford.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, that'll be interesting. You know, it's exciting.
I'm so glad. That's fantastic.
I'm into it now.
Perfect. Check out the stuff.
Yeah,
It's posted.
We'll put a link and then
let us know what you like to do.
I will say, if you buy
car.
anything, we're gonna make like a couple pennies on your purchase. If you buy anything off that link,
yes,
we're gonna make a couple nickels off the purchase.
Get a few nickels back on his gloves.
That's okay.
It's all right.
They're
trusted products.
I left the mailbag over there on my desk.
Oh yeah, I'll get it.
You want to get it?
Tell a joke or something.
Tell a joke. I could tell my favorite joke. I have one favorite joke. A duck walks into a bar and hops up on the bar stool and says, hey, barkeep, you got any quackers? And
is that's a funny joke already? Is it not done?
It already is.
It's not
done. It's not done. And the barkeep goes, no, we don't have any quackers. We're a bar. We serve drinks. And a few minutes goes by and the duck turns to him and goes, hey, barkeep, you got any quackers? And he says, no, we don't have any quackers. Stop asking me that. In fact, if you ask me that question one more time, I'm going to nail your beak to this bar. And the duck is like, oh, man. So a few minutes goes by and the duck comes in and he sits back up on the stool and he goes, hey, barkeep, do you have a nail? And the barkeep goes, no, I don't have a nail. He goes, okay, you got any quackers? If he doesn't have a nail, he's not going to be able to nail his beak to the bar. That's my favorite joke.
That's a great joke.
Yeah.
All right, draw.
Oh, I'm taking one of these.
Draw.
The mailbag bowl.
Loaded up.
All right, here we go.
Mailbag/bowl.
We're going to have to do two because I know who this is.
Oh.
Do y'all know any single 30-something-year-old Southern gentlemen? Sarah from Franklin. We know Sarah. Sarah is a delightful young lady.
Yeah.
As you may have surmised from the question, she's in her 30s.
Yes.
And she's looking for a good man.
Yeah.
So if you're a good man out there and you live in Franklin, Tennessee.
That's right. I did find it fascinating that our demographics have trended toward between the 25 and 34-year-old male. Yeah. So that's something. Mostly males.
All right, Travis from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. This is it's funny. We've only had, every other question has been from like Ohio, Michigan, Massachusetts.
Yeah. Right. We're getting local today.
Except for two people that we know, my daughter about Dollywood and Sarah about finding a man. This is the first one outside of those from Tennessee. Travis from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, right down the road, says, how do you create a good work-life balance? Which I will say, Travis, is kind of a generic question. How do you create a good work-life balance? But I think it's also very, very important.
No, I really think it is. Work and life. For me, that means your vocation, it's time. So you're just trying to be like, where am I putting my time? But what I talked about a few weeks ago is like, I can only be good at a few areas of life at a time. And so depending on where you are in your life, that's something you have to answer for yourself. Are you a dad right now of young kids? Right? Or are you in a startup phase of your business?
Yeah.
So there's a lot, everything's going to be different and it's going to change over time. The highest demand in my life as a dad were the past, were the 0 to 5 years. It was just that like, nurturing bottles, basically feeding, cleaning, wiping.
Keeping them physically alive.
Them, like fed and in bed.
Yep.
That was the most demanding.
Yeah.
And then it turns into an emotional demanding, but it's not as time consuming. And so it changes. So I think you just have to be okay with saying like, for this season.
Yeah.
For this season. Is not forever. And just kind of like watch it, create awareness around where your time is being spent and who needs you in that moment, and create time for yourself. Because if there's not even room for yourself, then none of that other stuff's going to work anyways.
Yeah. I think it gets more complicated if you work for yourself. Like I can think back to, a time period in my life where I worked for someone else, and it was really easy for me to turn off work mentally
when
I got home.
It's true.
But for the last 11 years, that's probably been my biggest struggle, is turning this off when I go home.
That's a good point.
Because I'm always sort of thinking about it.
It's up to you.
It's up to me.
It's up to you.
Like there are just things, even if you've been able to like assemble a little team, or if you've got help, or if you got, contract workers or whatever, there are certain things that just ultimately fall on you. Or even like future ideas, or how am I going to make this better? Like my mind is just kind of always spinning on it.
Yeah.
And I'm having to be more. What I found is if I do some tactile things in my life, if I actually do some things to try to put physical items that I associate with work out of the picture, my mind is it becomes a little bit freer. So for me. Dude, I could go home and sit at my kitchen table with a laptop open and my phone beside me,
and just keep on
keep on going.
Right. It's like having Oreos out on the table.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if the Oreos aren't there, there's no way to eat them. But if they are, I'm gonna stare at them and then eat them.
So I've tried to keep the laptop in my backpack.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
plug
get
the
better.
phone in when you get home.
Yes.
Whatever.
Put the phone away.
Yeah.
Keep that stuff a little more out of my vision, which has helped me sort of mentally become more present at home.
Right.
Because it's easy to just be physically there and even having a conversation, but my mind is just like, oh man, being pulled away to other things.
My grandfather ran a sawmill for a bit of his career time. He'd leave before sun was up, and he'd come home after sundown. And I remember him telling me that it was an hour drive both ways. And he said that was some of the best hours that I could spend, because that hour going home, I was unwinding all the things that I was doing during that day so that I could shift into my next mode.
Yeah.
And what it made me realize was there is no hard tactile break of buckets in our lives where once we leave work, we won't ever know what's going on at work until we get back to work, because everything is so communicative now in our society. You didn't have to worry about that back in the day. You had to wait for the next day to get the newspaper to know what happened the day before. And so it wasn't really a big question. Well, how do you balance your work life? You still had workaholism.
Yeah. Yeah.
But by the time you left, you're done. You can't really do anything else unless you're at work. So I think that is hitting on something that culturally we're unconsciously a victim of.
Yeah.
Because we can. You can. Like you can do everything at once right now.
Everything. Email, social media,
and
texting,
be a dad and a husband.
Yep,
and while you're changing your oil.
Yeah, while you're changing your oil.
I mean, it's really sad.
I think maybe that might be one of the reasons why I loved the oil change so much, is because you have to be mentally all there. You've got to be 100% focused and engaged on like what you're doing.
Yeah.
There's not a real good way to just float through an oil change mindlessly and daydream or be consumed by other things when you're like, no, I'm physically doing something. So I even wonder, like, it brings to mind, we're doing this Tech Fast in February. One of the things we've started doing, we broke it out on Super Bowl night. We had some friends over. We've started karaokeing. My wife bought a couple of little Bluetooth microphones.
Yeah.
Our son has this like big Bluetooth portable speaker. Sounds great. It's got lights on it.
Does it have lights? Yeah,
it has lights.
Yeah.
We'll set up a tripod and we'll put a phone or like an iPod there, and it's connected to the speaker. The mics are connected to the speaker, and you can dial up on YouTube any song you want, add in karaoke, and you can find an instrumental version that will scroll the words on there.
Yeah.
And we've been karaokeing nearly every single night for the last week.
Yeah.
And we love it. Our kids have done it. Right. Kimberly and I will be out there by ourselves. singing Kenny and Dolly or Journey or Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
If you can find something physically to do, playing a game, singing karaoke, reading a book, I think that helps too, just being present. You got to be focused on that.
Get that stuff out of there so you can be present.
Yeah. It's hard though.
We're split-minded all day. All day.
Split-minded.
It's rough. That's a great question. That kind of got me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm excited or scared to death.
I'm a little bit of both.
Good. Okay.
This is good.
Good episode today.
Basic car maintenance, Volume 1.
Volume 1. Please don't pay them to do simple things.
I wonder if we'll
just go on our YouTube channel.
Will we get hate about this?
What?
I don't know.
From dealers?
No, just like.
I hope so.
I can't imagine what it would be, but there's something inside me that goes like, oh, you'll probably get some hate over this. I don't know why.
I can't wait to see if that's true.
Yeah.
Some very strong anti-change your own oil people.
Maybe. I don't know.
That I would love to talk to them.
I will say, if you're watching this video,
please send us a message.
And subscribe. We are rebuilding. We were at the pinnacle of 185 YouTube
we will
subscribers.
Rebuild. I mean,
now we're at like 29 or 30. And we're just having
with
to
like
upload.
Super secure passwords.
Yeah. And so hit the subscribe button.
Send us a message.
Yeah,
send it to your to your uncle or your brother-in-law or something.
Yeah. Be like, you've always told me I could do this.
Yeah.
But I didn't believe it until these two idiots said I could do it.
They said I could change my oil.
I'm telling you. So easy.
Subscribe.
And I loved it. All
right. Well done. Thanks for everybody for listening.
Yeah.
And keep coming back.
And if you hacked us,
we're going to find you.
Don't do it again.
Please don't do it again.
Don't do it again. We can't handle a second time. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out the other videos on our channel and make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos.
And if you're tired of seeing our faces talk, you can go the audio only route and catch us on Apple and Spotify. If you do that, be sure to subscribe, give us a rating and a review so that we can reach more people.
See y'all next week.